Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today is the 5th day of our Thanks a Million event, a week-long event that we are having to celebrate reaching 1 million sales in our Etsy shop, and just to give back and say thank you to all of you for your support of our shop and our work and how much it means to us. So to celebrate, we are giving away a freebie every day this week, along with every video that we're posting every day of the week. And then we're also having a deal in our shop every day of the week. So today we are having 50% off on select journal kits and collections. So make sure to go over to our Etsy shop. We will have a link down in the description box and look at what kits are on sale and pick up any of the ones that you want. And along with the deals, we're also giving away a free add-on kit every day to someone who comments on the videos that we're releasing throughout the week, as well as a full junk journal. And those winners will be announced on Sunday, so don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on those announcements and future videos and freebies. All right, without much further ado, let's get into today's project. So we're going to be making this faded photo ribbon closure, and essentially this was my way of fixing an earlier mistake on Wednesday's video when I forgot to, or is it Monday's video? Tuesday's? It's all blending together, but either way, I forgot to add a ribbon closure to the journal. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start by taking a piece of chipboard. I prefer chipboard over cardboard because it's a little bit sturdier. So we will have a link to the chipboard that we use down in the description box below in our Amazon shop. So go pick some of that up if you need some on hand. And I'm going to be trimming this down to a 4" by 5.5" piece, and then I'm going to use that to help me cut a second one, so I have two identical little rectangles here. And then we're going to decorate these. I'm using the papers from Monday's video. We have a full freebie kit that we are releasing to you guys, so if you haven't already, make sure to go pick up that free kit. And then I'm using some of the pretty papers from that to decorate. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out some pieces that are 3.5 by 5 inches. And these are a little bit smaller than the chipboard because I wanted it to have kind of a cute little border. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I have this leftover coffee dyed paper doily that I'm going to cut in half and use this to decorate a little bit. So I went ahead and added a little bit of distress ink just to make the edges stand out a little bit more and look a little more finished. And we're going to use both halves of these on either piece that we're designing today. And then when it comes to further decorating, of course, you can use whatever you have on hand. I went ahead and grabbed some various supplies that I had lying nearby. And again, we will have a lot of this linked down in our Amazon shop. So if you're looking for something specific, make sure to go check that out. So I'm going to start by rounding the corners of my little sheet of paper here. You can use scissors if you don't have a corner rounding punch, but this just kind of gives it a little bit more of a finished look. And then I'm going to go over those edges with some distress ink and glue that piece down. And I am using Fabri-Tac glue, again, linked in our Amazon shop. It's nice because it's non-water based and doesn't wrinkle paper. So it's really handy for things like lace doilies, which are really thin paper and like to wrinkle very easily. And then I'm taking one of the mini faded photos from the faded photo freebie that is available today, and I'm adding a little bit of cheesecloth to the back of it. And again, that freebie is linked down in the description box, so go snag the faded photo freebie. And then I'm going to glue this down kind of into the center of the panel. And the thing to really pay attention to is to not add anything to the far left sort of center area, because that's where we're going to need to punch our eyelet to add our ribbons for the ribbon closure. Now, if you're not using this piece for a ribbon closure, you can just decorate it however you want and put it in your journal, that's fine. But since I need that area free, I've got to be mindful and not glue anything down. All right, so just kind of continuing on with my decorating here, adding a little piece of sort of lacy ribbon and some buttons, just kind of finding a pattern that I think looks nice and just adding a couple decorative elements here. I've also got this sort of pearl bead chain kind of thing that I'm using here to decorate the edge. I want to be a little mindful that nothing is too thick. I've already got pretty thick covers, and my journal did end up being pretty monstrous by the time I was done decorating it, so just keep that in mind. I picked up some of these flowers here from Amazon. Again, we will have these linked down below, and I really like these because they're really pretty, but they're also pretty flat, and that's kind of important. A lot of times I find that, like, you know, decorative flowers tend to be a little two-dimensional, so I really like these ones in particular. So that's going to be the final element I use for decorating, and of course I've got my faded photo with the page tab on top that I'll be putting behind this. But first we need to add our eyelet and our ribbons. So I've got this CROP-A-DILE punch. I'm going to change it to the 3/16 punch here, make a little hole in the side, and you can see this is where I left space so that I had room to do that. And then I have these eyelets that I spray painted gold. Originally they come in kind of a silver color, but most of the hardware on my journal is this gold color, so that's why I spray painted them. I just punched a hole in a paper bowl and then put my eyelets in like this, took them outside, and then just spray painted them with cheap gold spray paint. And that gives me a little gold eyelet that I can use in my ribbon closure. So the CROP-A-DILE punch also comes with an eyelet press, which is really handy, so I'm going to use that to flatten my eyelet just like this. And now we can go ahead and choose our ribbons for our closure. So I like to use a couple different types of ribbon when I'm doing my closures. You could of course just use one if that's what you have. It's completely up to you. I'm going to be using a little bit of this jute cord that I got from Walmart. They have a variety of them, but I like the 3-ply best for closures. And then I have this white, like simple cheap ribbon that I took, and I actually hand dyed it with acrylic paint and water just by soaking it for a little while. And then I've got some sari silk that I'm using. And I like to have mine pretty long. I would say probably like 4 to 5 feet. Like, it's a lot of ribbon, but it's because I'm going to be folding it in half basically, so that does shorten it quite a bit. And then once you tie your bow, if you want extra string kind of left over, you know, you just need a lot of it. So you can kind of experiment with lengths, start long and then go shorter. It's kind of up to you, but I personally like mine pretty long. And they don't have to be all the same length. I actually like it when my ribbons are a little bit varied in length, color, texture. I think it just makes them look, I don't know, more interesting. So, and I tend to draw from colors that are already in my journal so that everything kind of matches and goes together. So now that we have our ribbon here, we're gonna go ahead and lace it through the eyelet. So again, maybe keep track of how thick your ribbon are. If you have a lot of, like, you know, the jute cord is pretty thick, so the other ribbon kind of needs to be on the thinner side. This was probably just the right amount of ribbon. Too much more and I think it wouldn't have fit. So here is what it looks like once I've laced it through and kind of tugged it to an even length. And now we're going to glue our panels down. Now I am using Fabri-Tac, but you might want to use something stronger like super glue potentially, just to really make sure that this panel doesn't pop up. And you're going to want to keep the glue as close to the edges as possible because you want to leave room for your faded photo to slide behind like this. So I'm going to lay it down here and kind of use it to eyeball where I should put glue and where I should keep glue off, if that makes sense. And then we're going to just glue it straight down to the inside of the cover panel. So this one has the punch on the left, so it's going to go inside my front cover, just like this. And try not to shift things around too much because, again, we want to keep that glue to the edges of the panel here. And you can see the ribbons kind of stick out from the cover, and you can use these to tie your journal closed. So make sure to let that dry completely. And then while that's drying, you can make your back panel here, and it's gonna be the same exact design, except that you kind of want the right side open for your punch. So just kind of mirror everything. And then once everything's dry, you can tuck your faded photo into the back here, and now you've got like a little tuck space for a faded photo as well as a ribbon closure for your journal. So this was kind of my quick fix when I forgot to add the ribbons behind the cover panel in the first couple videos. So it's been working really well. I've had no problems with it. And I think it looks really cute, and I really wanted to add ribbons to this journal. So a reminder that this is the journal I'm going to be giving away on Sunday. So leave a comment down below if you want to potentially be the winner of this journal. I'm really excited to see what you guys think when I show it off on Sunday. But here is kind of what that ribbon closure looks like when it's done. All right, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!